Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Tuesday night live on the Waiver podcast. We're coming to you live tonight from all over the country. I'm going to go ahead and introduce myself. I'm your host, Jimbo. I got my co-host down on the other end with Jay. Jay, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, Jimbo. Pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me again, and let's put some work in tonight.
All righty, and then we got our every day on the chat rooms. Tennessee Nick, how you doing, buddy? First time on the show with me, anyways. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, thanks, Jimbo. Thanks for having me.
Hey, not a problem, man. I appreciate everything you do for Ballsville. I appreciate all the chat you do. It's a pleasure to have you on the show. And then we got the rookie. We call him the rookie because Bryce is new to Ballsville. He's new to fantasy football. Kid's only got 2 fantasy leagues, but he's going to come on board. He's going to start helping us technical wise. He's going to start helping Ballsville doing some of our gauntlet recap stuff, which has now recently moved to the Tuesday night show. Alex is doing a little shuffling around. He's a busy man, and so we're going to kind of take that little responsibility away from. How you doing tonight, Bryce?
Doing good. Thanks again for having me, Jimbo.
Hey, not a problem, guys. All righty, guys. Well, with that, we got a really, really big show going on tonight. I'd like to thank the BallsvilleGame.com for having us, everything they do for us. I'd also like to thank our sponsor, Premier Properties. Steve and Nikki, I really appreciate you guys sponsoring us and taking care of us. All right, we're going to go ahead and talk about like what old Scotty would always say when he was on here. We're going to talk about the elephant in the room. All right, this guy just recently got named Mr. Bad Bunny to play the NFL Super Bowl show. I don't know how y'all feel about it. Everybody's got their own ideas about it. I will just say this. When I was thinking about bringing this on to the show tonight, I started looking this guy up because I'd never heard anything about him, right? Never heard any of his music, never heard nothing. And I just started seeing all these different pictures. And I mean, it was like, some pictures don't even look like the same guy, you know. It's like, holy cow. So to me, as an old man looking at this guy right here that's coming on, going to do our Super Bowl show, I think the guy got an identity problem. What do you think, Tennessee Nick?
I mean, I like his music. He has some good beats, and I like that kind of like Spanish speaking like rap. And if you don't know, he was actually in the new Happy Gilmore. He did a pretty good job. He's a funny dude. So right. I have no issue with it, but I mean, I'm a good classic rock guy. Give me some Creed out there too, but this is a good choice too.
All right. Well, what do you think, Bryce?
Yeah, I was kind of thinking the same thing. The only thing I really know him from is Happy Gilmore 2, and I like the first movie better. So I couldn't care less.
So you're okay to see it, and you're all right with it, and you think it's going to be a good deal. All right. I think just from all the different identities this guy got, I think it could be an interesting stage show. I'll give him that much. But as far as his music, I really don't know. How about you, Jay?
Yeah, know nothing about his music. I think he was in Narcos season 3, the Mexico version. So, but whatever brings my kids to the football games, because my daughter she watched SZA last year with me, so I didn't have to get like makeup and nail polish. So like anything that kind of helps me like not have like a makeover after it's over, I'm super down with. So like as long as he brings new people to it, gives me new fish to take over advantage of. You know, we have leagues next year. I'm down for it. So just keep bringing them in. Right. Keep bringing them in. Yeah.
All right. So we're looking forward to the Super Bowl. Anyways, we'll take whoever's in there because at the end of the day, we're just getting up to go get some wings anyways and get ready for the second half. That's me anyways. All right. Here's a big one. This game, I almost called this thing exactly last week before the game, a couple days before the game. And I don't know how y'all feel about football ending in a tie. I know I'm a big fan of sudden death. I like it over with. I like to go home with a winner, just like in NASCAR. NASCAR don't let it end in a tie. NASCAR don't let it end under caution. The old days they used to, NASCAR ended under caution. I like sudden death. I was very, very sad to see this game end the way it did. Jay, what do you think about this game and how it ended?
Yeah, no, I mean, I thought the game was awesome. I had to watch a little bit from my phone because I was trying to do my husband duties as I was trying to watch the game on the side. But I think that it was a high scoring game, a lot of excitement. I had a feeling it was going to go into OT, but I agree with you. I'm not a fan of like the everybody wins type of things. We need a winner at the end of the day. Like, I don't even understand how we rate this at the end of the season where like the matchups are close, the records are close, and how a tie like adds in. I've never paid any attention, but I really feel like the NFL needs to figure something else out because college, I was watching the Florida State game on Friday, and it was like they were playing until it was over, and then somebody even got trampled almost. But it's like they play until somebody wins. So I don't understand how we're doing that in the college levels, but not doing it in the pros.
Yeah. That's the way I feel about it too. What do you think, Tennessee Nick?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a big fan of the ties. I mean, I had some money on the game. I bet the money line for both teams. Actually, one of them paid out because I bet the Cowboys to win, and I also somehow was able to bet them plus 3.5, so that paid. But I bet the Packers money line, and that was just avoid and push. And I had other legs on that bet too, so they were pretty much just like, oh no. But yeah, I would like it to go back to like college, like kind of overtime. Even if they just did like 10-minute overtime, if there's still no winner, maybe just take everybody to the 25-yard line and let them hash it out. But the ties, I think, is kind of bad for the league at this point.
And Bryce, what do you think about it?
I think we should keep the ties to soccer, honestly. That being said, it was a really good game. Like Tennessee Nick, I had a multi-leg parlay. And luckily, that still paid out thanks to the tie. The last leg was just a push, and I still got my money. So I'm happy about that. And I think it was a great game for fantasy football. I mean, you have some great players on both teams. And if you had teams on both the Cowboys and the Packers, you were having a good night for sure. So
right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, good enough. We're going to go ahead and move on. We're going to start talking about the big thing that is really happening this year. And we all who have fantasy teams are dealing with the health, the injuries. I mean, it's just killing everybody everywhere. And so we're going to talk some injuries. I'm going to go ahead and put this on.
Welcome to the Ballsville Injury Report for Week 4. I'm your host, Brian.
Oh, sorry, guys.
Tyreek Hill.
There we go.
Had a nasty ACL tear. You can see here that leg is all messed up, but he still cracks a smile because he gets a paid vacation with his 5 baby mamas. Look at him go, riding off into the sunset. Next up is Lamar Jackson with a hamstring injury. Honestly, this one didn't look too bad, but he is slated not to go up against the Texans this week. So make sure you have a replacement on your team. And lastly, we have Malik Neighbors with an ACL tear. It is safe to say he is probably out for the season. So on that last note, Malik Neighbors actually did not have an ACL tear. His knee actually was completely dislodged. At the time of the video, I had to go off of speculation, but now we have some more accurate information. So I thought I'd clarify that up front.
I appreciate you clarifying that. What about have you heard anything more, Bryce, on Lamar? Is he for sure out, or is he have you heard anything?
He's out against the Texans this week, but we're still waiting on a specific timeline on his return.
Well, I definitely know that Hill's out. I've seen him laying in a hospital bed. He's not playing anytime soon. They're saying that season-ending injury, if not even career-ending. And the Neighbors injury is also an ACL, so he's out for the season. Tennessee Nick, did this affect any of your teams?
The Malik Neighbors one did. I had him in a gauntlet, and yeah, it just is what it is. It's very unfortunate. My team was not doing well, so as much as this injury sucks and I hate it for Malik, my team was bad anyways.
Yeah, I was kind of feeling bad sorry for cussing. I was fixing to put him on suicide watch. I mean, he's a big Giants fan. I know this hurt him. How about you, Jay? Did this affect you? I'm sure it did somewhere.
Oh, no, it affected me in a lot of places. I've been loving Malik since he was at LSU. He's my guy. I got him on like a bunch of Debbie leagues, drafted him like get a lot of value because everyone thought Marvin Harrison was going to be better than him. So I'm like, yeah, it hurts a lot, but Next man up. That's like the Giants are saying. That's what we're saying on our fantasy team. So this next man up got to figure something out in the waivers or make a trade or something. But yeah, it is tough though because he's a super talented guy.
All right. So now, what about you, Bryce? I know you only got a couple teams. Did it affect you?
Not neighbors, but I did lose Tyreek in one of my leagues. And on my Ballsville league, I actually have another wide receiver for the Dolphins. So we'll see if he gets any play time now. But yeah, I guess we'll just kind of wait and see how it all unfolds.
All righty. So let's move on here. Jay, you got any news on this Terry McLaurin quad and Daniels coming back? I know you're a big Commanders fan.
Yeah. I've got a couple things that I'm seeing on the Twitter streets. I'm hearing that Jaden Daniels is actually slated to play this week, which is good for anybody who's got any Jaden Daniels shares because it's been tough starting Marcus Mariota. It's kind of like a roll of the dice type of thing. But I think for T-Mac, I think it's going to probably be another week if we're playing it safe. I think that's the smarter thing for the team to do because of the injuries is probably to have him sit a week and then have him play the next week after that. But we'll kind of see, because I think they're kind of, we've been struggling a little bit, but I think we have to have the long-term perspective going on. So hopefully Jaden will start and then T-Mac will start the week after. So there'll be a lot of Debo opportunities available for your shares next week.
All right, the next one, Warren, running back from the Steelers. How does this affect any of you, Tennessee Nick?
I mean, I don't really have any shares of him. If I did, he would be like RB4 or RB5. But yeah, speaking about the injury, it kind of feels like Pittsburgh's pulling one out of the San Francisco 49ers playbook. They're really downplaying it, and I mean, I thought he was going to be good to go in Dublin.
It caught a lot of people off guard. I know before the game started, it was an early game, overseas game. A lot of guys just getting out of bed, just getting going, and boom, here this guy is already inactive. He tried to make it. I saw him out on the practice field, prior to the game for warm-ups, and I kind of saw it. He wasn't getting ready to go. Now, I'm a big Gainwell fan. I liked him when he was at the Eagles, so I picked up Gainwell a long time ago. I had him on a lot of my dynasty leagues. Jay, did the Warren inactive affect you this week?
No, because I have no shares of any of these guys. But I was looking for Kenny on Sundays to see where I didn't have him where he was available. And unfortunately, to your point, there was a whole bunch of Jimbos that he was taking. But so it wasn't surprised because he's always kind of showed sparks in Philadelphia. You know what I mean? So the opportunity, it's always about the opportunity to score fantasy points, as one of my mentors would always say. So I think that just presented itself to him. And because the backfield is so barren right now, as far as what they have, the rookie's not doing too much. Warren's on the IR, injured, excuse me. So I think Gainwell was able to take advantage of his opportunities.
Well, now this next one's going to kind of affect me I think I got a sub-pub bet with at least, sorry for cussing, on Tillman and Judy. Tillman, I saw he's got a hammy issue. I seen him grab it during the game. I see he went on IR today also, so that kind of breaks my heart from pub sub bet because I had a hot take early on in the offseason that Tillman was going to outscore yardage-wise. Judy was my hot take early on in the offseason on Tillman, so I'm a little bummed about that one. But we'll go ahead and move on. And now we're going to talk about Jackson Dart and Cam Ward comparisons here. I don't have it right in front of me. I actually had a slide on it, but I didn't get it in there in time. But Jackson Dart, he 2 touchdowns, I think, in the game, right? And Cam Ward's got 2 he's got 2 touchdowns in 4 games. And so I was big on Cam Ward. I had him up for Rookie of the Year, which now Mbuka's probably going to end up with that, or Jenny if he can pull it off. But Cam Ward and Jackson Dart, where do you stand on that, Bryce?
I honestly don't have an opinion. This is one of those areas where I still need some more experience before I'm qualified to comment. But I've heard a lot about Cam Ward early on in the season. I know one of my parlays that he was going to be Rookie of the Year. Like you said, that's not going to pan out. So that's kind of how it affects me. Right. What do you think, Jay?
I'm on the fence, right? Because I was debating this during rookie draft season, and I was like, well, I was kind of looking back historically on like 25th and up draft picks, and and I didn't see a lot of hits, but like, so I'm still leaning towards Cam. It's early. We got to think about Peyton Manning's rookie year. He think he broke the record for interception. So I think, you got to give this guy some time. I don't think it's always going to be a CJ Stroud or a Jaden Daniels. Some people have to kind of grow into their greatness. And, I've seen Cam make a lot of throws. Now, I think Jackson Dart is awesome too, though. Like from what I've seen from the preseason until now, and there were some people who was actually going to be touting him as the best rookie out of the class as far as quarterbacks are concerned. So I'm still leaning towards Cam because I feel like if people get paid millions of dollars to evaluate quarterbacks, I want to think that they know what they're doing, although that may not be the case. We may be able to do this better than them, who knows? But we'll see. But I think that it also revolves around coaching and what I've seen Dable do, as far as with Josh Allen. And he got this love crush on this guy. If you saw them after the game and how they almost touch faces, it was kind of weird.
I think this Callahan guy's going to be the first. I think he's the first coach to get fired, to be honest with you.
Exactly. So Jimbo's so I think the coaching comes into it.
Yeah,
so I think we'll see how it goes. Yeah.
Yeah. Not to mention it. He's doing a shitty job of coaching as far as I'm concerned. What do you think, Tennessee Nick?
Yeah, I think Dart is the guy. However, I do also like Cam Ward. I think Cam Ward was the guy who was drafted to be the poised starter from the get-go. I've been hearing a lot of comps. Like this morning, I saw an Instagram video comparing him to Will Levis's situation, how Will Levis put up better numbers in the first 4 weeks of his career and how they just gave up on him. I see it as a different situation in Tennessee. I mean, he's their poised starter. They drafted him number one for a reason. Rookie slumps happen, and I think that Peyton Manning comparison is pretty good. And just give him a little bit more time. But Jackson Dart, I think he's doing really well in New York. He had Russell Wilson kind of under to learn from for a bit, and I think he's just got the accuracy, and he's a big guy, and he could run the ball really well. You saw it at USC and Ole Miss.
Yep. All right. So before we get into our next guy we're going to talk about, I want to say big thanks to everybody in chat. I see El Presidente's out there. Alex, thanks for everything you do for Ballsville and all the players. Cheeky Hobson's out there. Francis is out there. Soul Stealer. And then I see Zubicus is in there. Oh, yeah, there's Ethan. I'm surprised he didn't say the big game, but I ain't even going to say what he said. And Cyborg's out there. He's in here from Texas. Nice to see you, Cyborg. K-Dog. I always used to listen to somebody say this, and I can't say it. K-Doggy Dog. And he's out there watching us, and there's a few others out there. Some new people out there. Thanks for coming into the chat, and we'll move on to our next one. Now, this next guy here, when he was at the Steelers, I liked this guy. I thought he had a lot of potential. I thought if he had good quarterback play, he'd probably do a lot better. I was kind of glad he got traded. I saw this trade coming. Never did make a hot take on it. I probably should have. I had it in my head for a long time to do it. And I think I talked to a couple people about it. But do you think that even after Lamb comes back, Jay, that this guy is a legit number one? Or if he was to go to another team, do you think he'd be a number one? If he wasn't following a guy like Lamb, do you think he'll keep the same numbers? You think he'll build a rapport with Dak to where he keeps these numbers going?
No, I think he's a solid number two. I think what we've seen in Pittsburgh when he had the opportunity to be number one and he kind of was still boom or bust. I think that's just who he is. And he kind of showed that at Georgia as well. But I think he's super talented. He's still somebody I probably would want to punch in the stomach if we were friends. It just sounds like somebody who would get on my nerves. But I think he's super talented. And I think where CeeDee's gone, it gives him the opportunity to shine and start to grow into the offense and earn that contract that he's looking for. But I think long term, I think he's a number two. Like, he's not somebody who's gonna be somebody who can put your hat on and be like, hey, this guy's going to get us to where we need to go. He's going to be somebody who's going to be like, hey, he's a good tag team with whoever our number one is.
What do you think Tennessee,
George
Nick?
Pickens is.
I mean, George Pickens, yeah, I kind of agree. He's pretty much a wide receiver too. I could see kind of a similar role like Tampa Bay, how they had the tag team Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. But I mean, George Pickens is just the guy. He'll have a good week, and then you'll trust him to keep him in your lineup, and then he'll just put up bum numbers. He's a really good player, but he also has kind of butter hands. He drops the ball a lot, and I think he's just kind of inconsistent. So he could shine as a wide receiver one on another team, sure, but I don't see him getting more of the target share once CD gets back.
I see Francis put in chat. She loves Pickens. She loves Pickens, but she's a soul stealer, so she got a little bit invested in him before he took off for Dallas. So, Bryce, you got anything you want to add about Pickens?
Yeah, I got Pickens on my Ballsville league, and it's exactly what Tennessee Nick was saying. Sometimes he puts up good numbers, sometimes he doesn't. I've seen Turpin also, the other wide receiver on Dallas. He's also starting to put up some good numbers too. So we'll see kind of how things play out until CeeDee Lamb gets back.
All righty. Well, what we're going to do here, guys, is I want to let everybody know that's listening. Guys, this is our portion of the show where we're going to go to the gauntlet recap, just so you know it was taped. We will be coming back live as soon as this recap is done and the tape is done. We'll come back live. So you guys can go ahead and stretch your legs for a minute, and we'll go ahead and watch the gauntlet recap live tape now.
Thank you, Jimmy. We're obviously recording this. This is during the Monday night game. We just watched Tyreek Hill get a pretty brutal leg injury. We're going to introduce you to Bryce, who's been on the show before with Jimmy. He's going to join me on stage along with Jimmy, and we're going to update you on where we're at with this gauntlet recap and the way that we're going to be covering the gauntlet games. We're also going to cut in some of the statuses of the undefeated teams that we had highlighted last week. Let's get to that and welcome in our guest tonight, Mr. Bryce and Mr. Jimmy. How you guys doing tonight?
Doing good. How about you, Alex?
Doing pretty well. A little tired, to be honest with you. That's why this is so sloppy. That's part of the reason why we're here. Jimmy, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. I'm excited about bringing the gauntlet recap to the waiver wire on Tuesday nights. I think doing a recorded version and bringing it into the show and then recapping it live at the end. I think it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to the season. I'm looking forward to getting to the guillotine part, and just the whole thing about the gauntlet just is exciting. So I'm up for it. So
the goal of the recap has never been for me to be on camera. I want this information to get out to you as soon as possible because it's really pertinent stuff, especially when we get into the guillotine portion of the gauntlet and players start getting cut. We start going to a points format. You guys are going to need to be able to verify what's going on in other God leagues, whether you're in the light or the dark. Obviously, those two intertwine. But you'll be able to see data from all 12 gods, all 24 leagues, and that data is going to be delivered to you with Mr. Bryce.
Yeah. No, I'm really excited to be part of the Ballsville team here, and I'm looking forward to giving you guys some data insights. I think tonight we're going to cover over some of the undefeated guys in the Gauntlet League, and maybe go over some of the main points from this past week 4. We're going to look at some of the good things, some of the bad things, and the ugly things later on, too. So make sure you stick around for that.
Absolutely. So what we're going to do real quick, guys, this is going to be some overlay action. God bless overlays. With that said, let's get into these undefeated teams. First off, from Amon-Ra Dark, we have Team Codaver. Also from the same league, we have Degen Ethan. Osiris Light, we have Jenny B. Sticky Picky from Anubis Light. Zeus Stark, we have DJ and Ethan again. And GLC20 from Zeus Stark. Apollo Light, sorry for cussing, our friend Chris. Chicken Boy from Jupiter. And also from Jupiter Dark, Jimbo, our friend Jimmy. So congratulations to the undefeated teams going 8-0. We look forward to watching your journey and seeing who the last remaining undefeated team is. We are halfway through our redraft portion of the gauntlet. Come week 8, these top dogs, whoever's leading their league, will receive a $30 payout. That will be the first payout of those leagues. So 24 leagues, 12 gods, gonna be a good time. So that wraps up our undefeated teams. We'll keep an eye on them going into week 5. One thing to mention about week 4, after tonight, we get to score our mini leagues. That's going to be pretty cool. We have 2 of those. Those are free to enter for all Ballsville players. If you weren't part of that, you weren't with us during the off season. Those are $50 a piece, free to enter just for playing in any of our leagues. We usually have a couple more of those, but we did do a lot of expansion this off season. Anyways, with that being said, we're going to move on to the good, the bad, and the ugly. Bryce, you have an idea of some of the good that you saw this weekend. Go ahead and hit us with it.
Yeah, a pleasant surprise of an excellent game. Micah Parsons' homecoming game against the Cowboys this past Sunday was amazing. We saw a lot of momentum from the Packers early on, but then after halftime, Dallas came back hard, and it ended up being the second highest scoring tie in NFL history. So that was an insanely good game to watch. If you had players on either the Dallas Cowboys or the Packers, that was definitely a good night for you too. So yeah, that's
absolutely. I started a lot of Romeo Dobbs over players that I probably shouldn't have, and it rewarded me. Won me a couple leagues. So I'm with it. Yeah. Good call. Jimmy, you got an idea of some of the bad?
Yeah, some of the bad is some of these NFL offensive lines. It's just crazy. I mean, the Vikings offensive line allowed Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers to come and just pound them in the ground and take that win. You're looking at Alt going out for the Chargers, which allowed the Giants to, just be a part of that game that they probably really shouldn't have, although Dart did play a good game. But they're hurting on offensive line. They're going to have to clean that up. And then of course the Bucks, they got Tristan Wirfs back, but it really didn't help against a number 1 defense like the Eagles. But, I think they'll bounce back from it, but they got offensive line problems too. And some of these other teams that have offensive line problems, it's a big deal. And I think that was exposed this week throughout some of the games with the offensive lines.
Absolutely. And leading into that Joe Alt injury, I mean, that's my version of the ugly is the injuries we suffered this weekend. Obviously, Malik Neighbors, the torn ACL, out for the season. I mean, that's no news that you haven't heard already. We just saw Tyreek. I doubt that's a sprain, not to be too crude, but so the injury is there. We had an injury to Lamar Jackson, which is, I guess, getting stated as a hamstring injury, but I've already seen an image of him icing his knee during the game. So, who's to say what's real or not? But the injuries have been a big deal. We're starting to see players drop. But overall, I think it was an exciting weekend. And last night's game on Sunday, that tie, that's my favorite tie. That was a good show. We're blessed with good football so far this year. We'll hope to keep it up. And that'll be pretty much it, guys. Going forward, we're going to have this as a short segment on the waiver wire, and we'll take it back there. So, Jimmy, bounce it back to yourself, huh?
We'll be recapping and get as thorough as we can and start getting as much as Bryce is able to bring to the table. So we're excited about the rookie coming in and kind of taking over this gauntlet thing and getting it all going. What do you think about the future of this, Bryce?
I think Ballsville has a bright future, and I'm excited to contribute in every way I can. And I think you guys have one of the most advanced league setups I've ever seen. So it's very exciting coming into this, Jimbo.
Sounds good. Well, let's go back live to the waiver wire, guys.
Back to you, Jimbo.
All righty, guys. We're back in action and we're back live. See if I can get this fixed a little better. All right, there we go. All right. Thanks, Alex, for bringing that. And thanks for giving Bryce the opportunity. Bryce, you excited about that opportunity?
Very excited. I'm really looking to dig in more to these leagues and exactly what data is available for us all. And I'm even more excited to share it with all of you.
Yeah, if you guys take a look at, Sticky Picky's tools section, there's a lot in there about the gauntlet. There's a lot in there about the redraft leagues, the best ball leagues. You can see who's leading, how many points they got. Boy, I sure wish we had something like Sticky's got going on for DVJ. Have you looked at any of those formats that he's got that we're going to be able to partake in these DV leagues this year coming?
No, but I'm diving in as soon as we have this call because I think it's something we need to take advantage of for sure. 100%.
Yep. What do you think about that, Tennessee Nick? You like those sticky picky tools?
Yeah, I mean, occasionally, I'll look at that scoreboard and I'll get discouraged to see my teams at the bottom. But I mean, it's a great tool, and this is my first year in Ballsville, and I love it, and I would absolutely love to see Devi and even C2C in this sort of format.
Well, you're looking at the C2C man right over there, right next to you, buddy. He's big into it, and we're going to be bringing it to Ballsville in 2026. I just want to throw a shout out to the new people in chat, the YouTube watchers that aren't all big-time fantasy players. You guys take a look at the Ballsville website. Look us up. Get involved. If you're a fantasy player, you're looking for a new home, we'd be glad to have you. And with that said, we're going to actually move into a DV section here, and I'm going to let you take it away. Jay, this is yours.
Yes, so this is my, Jay's probably way too early, but maybe a little bit too late mid-season Debbie rankings 2025. So we got Bryce Underwood. We got, Bryce's brother from another mother on the cover here. But I think Bryce Underwood's kind of leading the way for me as far as the quarterback rankings. And so he's leading with a 56.9% completion percentage, 733 yards passing, 22 rushing attempts for 169 yards, 5 total TDs. Now, granted, doesn't sound like a lot. I get it, guys. But you got to understand, he's a freshman, right? So this is the first time he's coming from high school, and he's at Michigan, and they lost Oklahoma. But he's been showing out, because we're looking for a guy who's not a Malachi Nelson, right? Who's going to flame out, transfer, go somewhere, go to Boise, then go to UTSA. Who cares where he's at right now? Nobody's ever going to hear from him. He was a 5-star. So but Bryce Underwood is at a P5 program, and he's showing up. So he's my number 1 ranked quarterback right now. So number 2, strictly based off potential. This guy hasn't done anything yet, right? Keelan Russell, Alabama quarterback, right? He's probably one of the highest touted quarterbacks coming out, but I think once he gets the opportunity, once Ty Simpson leaves, goes into the Kalen DeBoer offense, I think we're going to see a lot of good things coming from him next year. So he's my number 2 ranked quarterback. Number 3, which is, I think he's now a household name, is Lenore Sellers. He's a 66.7% completion percentage, 886 yards passing, 46 rushing attempts, 93 yards, 5 total touchdowns. The reason why he's ranked number 3, I would have expected him to be ranked number 1 actually going into the season because he was my number 1 quarterback but I think he hasn't really shown me what his potential is able to do right now. So I'm kind of I'm on the fence. I got a lot of Lenore Sellers in a lot of leagues here, but I think there's an opportunity that's based off talent, based off athleticism, so that's my number 3. Number 4 is Dante Moore. We call him Mr. Resurrection, right? He was at UCLA, got benched, He went to Oregon, which has been put, Bo Nix came out of this system, right? This was a very, very quarterback friendly system. And in his first year, he's put up 74.6% completion percentage, 1,210 yards completions, 24 rushing attempts, 127 yards, and he has 15 total TDs. So right now, to me personally, like out of all the quarterbacks that are like eligible for the draft next year, he's my number one pick. Showed me a lot, way to bounce back from adversity. And, a side note, he used to do training with Patrick Mahomes. Number 5, and then I'll kind of turn it over to you guys for your thoughts here on my list here. We got Sam Levitt, Arizona State University, 63.1% completions, 1,900 yards. He has 55 rushing attempts, and he has 13 total TDs. Now, he had the bad loss early in the year, but I think he's bounced back a little bit. He was a 3 to 4 star, depending on what services you're looking at. So he was kind of under the radar as far as the other 5 stars that came out. But he's kind of showed out. He went to the college playoffs last year, and it showed me a lot as well. So I got a lot of stock in this guy early because I was a believer. He was he was at Michigan State until he went to Arizona State. So like there's a lot of potential there as well. So those are my top 5 quarterbacks. So curious as we kind of get the first 5, and then we go to the running backs and wide receivers, but kind of curious to know what the team thinks around my top 5 quarterback rankings.
Did you have? I missed the one you had there. It's the dude from Oklahoma, Metzer, or what's that guy?
Oh, he is not on my list because he did not make the cut. But Mateer potentially can make the cut. I'm not a Mateer hater. I just he's hurt right now, so that kind of docked him a little bit. Want to see something as far as
all my guys at Oklahoma are hurt.
Yeah,
all my guys. Tatum's out too.
Tatum's out as well. So, but just show me something. But Mateer is definitely honorable mention for sure, Jimbo. For sure.
Where are you at on college football, Tennessee, Nick? You got anything to say about them 5 quarterbacks?
Yeah, I mean, as much as I don't like the Ducks, I mean, I'm an Oregon State Beaver alumni. I do believe Dante Moore is he's really good. He has really good judgment and decision making too. I believe he only has 1 pick on the year, right? Mm-hmm. And I mean, me being from Nashville, or I mean, not being from Nashville, I live in Nashville now, but I watch a lot of Vanderbilt ball, and this Diego Pavia guy, I think he's climbing into the Heisman conversation. He's pretty good. I could see him almost being like a Taysom Hill kind of guy in the NFL. He's big. He could throw the ball and he could run.
Bryce, you got anything for these guys? I know that the one he's got at number 1 there is right down the road from you up in Michigan.
Yeah, no, I live pretty close to Michigan State. But outside of that, I got my hands full with getting caught up on the NFL coming into this. So I don't have time to catch up on college ball. But
yeah, Jay can bury just about anybody when it comes to college football. But guys, the biggest reason we want to start bringing some of this college football to you guys is to help you get better acclimated come draft time of who these guys are, what their backgrounds were. Because, I mean, a lot of guys that play fantasy don't watch big-time college football. Other guys do, especially us guys that are in Devy. But we want to, as time goes through the year, we want to start having some segments that talk about these guys that are coming to the draft so that when it does come draft time, when we start our early off-season drafting, like we do at Ballsville, you guys will have a little bit better thing to think about who you're going to go after in the NFL draft. But Jay, go ahead on with your running backs.
My running backs. All right, cool. So we got Jeremiah Love, which I think he's a household name at this point. Pretty underwhelming so far, but I'm still giving him the love just because of how he came in. We're only halfway through the season. 66 rush attempts, 5 touchdowns, 13 receptions, 149 yards. So a total of 8 total touchdowns. Number 2, I got Nick Singleton. Nick Singleton's there was a lot of Saquon comparisons when he came out. Katron Allen's been stealing a lot of his work, but right now he's at 52 rushing attempts, 200 yards, 5 TDs, 8 receptions, 73 yards. So, I'm not really – I think there's a lot of potential there, but we'll kind of see what he's going to be able to do for the rest of the season. Justice Haynes has been a very, very surprising guy this year for me. He was at Alabama. He wasn't getting the work that he wanted, so he made the transfer in order to go to Michigan. But he's been showing out, in my opinion. 66 rush attempts, 537 yards, 6 total touchdowns for rushing, and then he had like 9 receptions for 29 yards. So I think he's making the most out of his opportunities in a big-time program. I also got Caden Durham. So he's the LSU back, 52 attempts, 213 yards, 2 tutties, 8 receptions, 39 yards. He's actually injured right now, so we'll see if Harlan Berry can get any shake while he's out.
I got lots of shares of Harlan Berry, baby.
We know you do, Jimbo. That's why I gave you a shout out. And then we got Usman Kroma. I think that's the last one. I think he's a freshman. 28 rush attempts, 174 yards, 3 receptions, 59 yards, and a tutty. Now, granted, the numbers are not overwhelming, but if you see what's happening in between the 20s, he's playing big boy football. Like he's breaking a lot of tackles, throwing a lot of guys off. He's been doing big boy things, and he's in a good program. So those are my top 5 running backs going into the season. But I think what's really exciting about college football is that I could have my own top list. Tennessee, Nick could have his own. Bryce and Jimbo, we could have our own because we don't really have right now the consensus that we have in the past. Where you have like your Caleb Williams, you have your Bijan Robinson. So it's like. It's kind of like a toss-up right now. It's like whose scouting is going to do the best and give you the edge when it comes down to making your teams come draft time.
What college running back you like, Tennessee Nick?
Yeah. First off, I do want to hint on the scouting stuff. Yeah, we're not all perfect. I mean, I was the guy who was really high on McKee Hughes, and he's been basically non-existent in the Oregon offense. It's crazy. Tulane must have just been a system, but. I also really like Jeremiah Love. I do think he has been a little underwhelming. Same with the Singleton. But another guy on my honorable mentions is Fluff Bothwell out of Mississippi State. He played arguably one of the best defenses in college football with Tennessee, and he had 23 carries, 134 yards, and 2 touchdowns. I mean, this guy ate against a phenomenal defense. So I mean. I also really like the stuff he had at South Alabama last year. He just exploded, and I'm excited to see where he'll land. He's only a sophomore, so if you have him, if he's available, I would definitely add him in Devy leagues or even seek him out in C2C.
All right, what do you got, Jay, on your top 5 wide receivers, buddy?
Wide receivers to take us home. I got Jeremiah Smith. Don't really have to even say anything about this guy. Ryan Williams, kind of the same thing. I think if you're playing college fantasy football, he was not startable at the beginning of the year, but like if you had him in your bench week 3 after the injury, you regretted that decision. Jordan Tyson is probably going to be the number 1 pick coming out as far as 2026 wide receivers. 39 receptions, 483 yards, and 7 touchdowns. I've been putting him in all my prop bets each week. Been kind of making some money there. Brian Wesco has actually been not a surprise, but TJ Moore was supposed to be the guy going into Clemson, and Brian Wesco has been balling. 24 receptions, 389 yards, 5 touchdowns. Like he's been doing his thing out of Clemson, and then my last guy is Cam Coleman, just because straight off of talent. 17 receptions, 255 yards, 2 touchdowns. So nothing's like super impressive, but just the athlete that is Cam Coleman. I'm expecting, NFL scouts to drool over him when it comes combine time. So like just for that, he's going to be in my top 5. I honestly don't have any shares of Cam Coleman in any of my leagues because I've never been able to draft him early enough or where I felt the value was. But I think like when it comes draft time, I think he's going to be like a hit or miss prospect, kind of like a Keyshawn Boutte almost, but I'm not saying he's going to get that draft capital, but just like he's either going to be great or he's going to suck. Because to me, when I play fantasy football, as far as when I'm looking at these Devy prospects, especially when you play college fantasy football, the people who score fantasy points in college, they score fantasy points in the NFL. Like Malik Neighbors, for instance, like he was crushing it. So there is a rhythm into how successful they're going to be. So, but we'll see with Cam Coleman. But I think because some people surprise you, so we'll see. We'll see about these guys.
All righty, Jay. I appreciate you doing a deep dive on Devy. I appreciate the deep dive on these college guys. And like I said, guys, I appreciate you sitting through it. And if you guys are DB guys, start hanging around. We're going to be talking about it more and more. I know for a lot of NFL guys, they're going to be glad for us to move on here in just a second. But I did want to say thank you, Jay, for putting the time in that you put into it and bringing it to everybody. So, all right. Well, let's move on with our next segment. And we're going to talk about these two boys. All right. Two big boys. Got Cam Scattaboo, Keyshawn Judkins, which we were super high on in drafts. We were super high on him getting drafted where he did. We weren't real happy about the landing spot. And then the big old problem with him having a legal issue, we thought, here we go again. But both of these guys, Judkins got his second chance. He made quick business about it to prove that he was worth them taking the chance on. Scattaboo has proved himself. We all kind of knew what he had underneath the hood. He's proven it right now with Jackson Dart. I think for the Giants, this is going to be a big thing. What do you think, Tennessee, Nick, about these two running backs?
Yeah, I really like what I see with Cam Scattaboo. I mean, coming out of Arizona State, he in that playoff game, he put in some extraordinary work, and I think he totally fits the Giants scheme very well. I mean, he's a big time bruising running back. He kind of reminds me of a better Peyton Hillis in that regard. Just could basically run through people. I also really like Keyshawn Judkins a lot. I was a little weary on his legal trouble, but I mean, he's ever since he started getting meaningful touches, he's put in the work, and his stats have shown.
Bryce, you got anything to say about these two running backs? Did you watch them at all this weekend?
Nope, I didn't watch him a single second, and I don't have him in my leagues. I think early on I went up against you in one of the redraft leagues, and you had him on your team, and he totally bombed. But it sounds like he's coming back. So, yeah, he's definitely someone to watch in the weeks to come.
How about you, Jay? What do you think about these two?
Oh, yeah, no, I love them both. I think I'm worried about Cam's long speed. So I think he'll be good for what the Giants offense is right now. I love Quinshon Judkins. Like I loved him at Ole Miss, loved him at Ohio State. I think he's a super talented running back. I mean, and I think like what he's shown, like the fact that he could miss a whole training camp because of his legal issues and come and then get like starters right away and like push everybody to the background tells me the type of talent that he is. So like, because I think Cam had to wait for his opportunity once Tyron Tracy got hurt, where they were just like, okay, here you go, you're back now, here's the ball, and take us to where we need to go. So I think they both are in terrible offenses, but yeah, I'm gonna trust the talent that is Quinshon Judkins like all day, every day. I'm mad I don't have enough shares of him. I don't have any shares of Cam because it was 40 time, but I think both have promising NFL careers.
Yeah,
for sure.
Now, not those two aren't the only two that can put up big numbers. These guys that are alongside Judkins and Genty and Hampton and my boy Woody Marks that I talked real high on in the offseason, and he's getting his chance. And look at these fantasy numbers, Jay. Look at these fantasy numbers, Nick. Tennessee, Nick, what do you think of these fantasy numbers? Do you think these rookies are going to, Genty, we were expecting it. He finally ripped it off this week. What'd you guys think of week 4, Tennessee, Nick, out of these 4?
Yeah, I mean, I just thought it was about time. I mean, everybody knew Genty was going to just pop off, and I'm glad he did. I have him and Hampton in the $50 Superflex Dynasty League. And I'm really happy about Genty, and Hampton's shown pretty good too. Yeah, I mean, I hear the argument all the time about Genty. Oh, Boise State, he didn't play anybody meaningful, but I mean, he had the most, like he had like 1,800 yards after contact last year in college. You can play Division III football, and that's really good.
What about you, Jay?
I'm probably the opposite of that. I think that Woody is doing his thing, which I was also not surprised about. I'm really happy to see. Quinshon, I just kind of mentioned. I'm pessimistic about the other two. Like, I mean, I think it's gonna be. I'm like St. Louis. Show me something. Like, I'm gonna show me state. Like, so like it's like. I think that Ashton Genty needs to show me more. I want to see consistency. I want to see be able to do it. I think I've seen you do it in spurts, but I need to see some consistency if you were that high of a pick. And same thing with Amari and Hampton. I mean, like, if Najee didn't get hurt, would he do this? I don't know. Like, if they bring in Kamani Vidal, will he still do this? I don't know. So I'm a little bit more skepticism. I have more skepticism about the people who we paid up to get. as opposed to like Woody Marks, is free money. And depending if he was in redraft, Quinshon Judkins was like a 10th, 11th round pick, depending on where you drafted at. So he was way, way cheaper based off the legal issues. So I feel like I'm interested to see kind of if they can hold that consistency based off their first round draft stock. But I'm a little bit skeptical about them just because it's like, these guys, the other two have showed me what they had off their first opportunities where, we've had to wait several weeks to see for these other guys.
Right.
So,
Bryce, you got anything
on
these four guys or no?
Yeah, I think as a newer player, I really have to kind of figure out my fantasy strategy. And one of the strategies I've noticed is, do you draft for these really big boom or bust weeks, or do you draft for consistency? And I think guys like Jonty, that they show flashes of great potential and they have these great bust weeks. But, if you're looking for consistency over time, I think he's just not quite there yet, like Jay's saying. So that's kind of my stance on it. I think he's a great boom or bust player, but not quite there yet for the consistency.
All righty. Well, with that said, Bryce, we're going to move into this section, which is your section. We're going to go ahead and let you do a little bit of talking while we sit back and listen to you, young man.
Awesome. So these numbers have changed. First off the bat, the money line odds from DraftKings are now 245 on San Francisco and negative 305 on the LA Rams. So the win percentage, the Rams are projected to come out on top at 54% win prediction. The spread there is going to be 6.5 points. The predicted score based on a couple different sources is going to be 19 San Francisco, 27 LA. But hey, anything can happen. The most interesting thing is both of these teams are 3-1 right now in the standings. So this is going to be a pretty big game to decide, who's going to, do better in the season. The last data point I have for all you sports bettors out there is the over-under for total scored points is going to be 46.5. Once again, this is all off DraftKings. It might be different for your platform of choice. But yeah, that's what we're looking at. Who do you think's going to win Thursday night's game, Jimbo?
I think the Rams will win this game handily. I mean, I got some notes wrote down here. I think Stafford's playing like a fine bottle of wine, boy. He's up there in age. He's got the miles on him. He's proven he can just sit there and just do his thing. I mean, he's killing it. He's got the number one wide receiver in the league who's fixing to break all kinds of records this year again with Puka. He's got Adams sitting there doing big time numbers at his age. And, they got a great running game. They got a good defense. I think they handle the 49ers very handily. What about you, Tennessee Nick?
Yeah, I mean, I think the Rams are going to win. Me being a Seahawks fan, I don't really talk highly of the 49ers just because of the rivalry there, but it's unfortunate to see all their injuries, or else I guarantee if they were fully healthy, this over under would be like in the mid 50s. I think if they were both healthy, they could score a lot, but I think right now, I think LA is just going to unfortunately run all over them. I mean, I'll enjoy it, but that's just how it is.
What do you think, Jay?
Yeah, no, I'm in agreement. I think that, the San Francisco is just way, way too beat up right now. So I think, the LA Rams sit in the driver's seat. They got a lot of their best players available. You mentioned Matt Stafford, regardless of the back issue, he's just showing that he's a consummate professional that's able to kind of show up for work, bring his hard hat, and to get the job done. So now I think they're going to be in the driver's seat to win this game. I'd be highly, highly surprised if San Francisco pulls this off.
Yeah, I think so too. I think the 49ers are playing on borrowed time. I think if Jones wouldn't have got hurt, I don't think Purdy'd been back. So with that said, I'm definitely going Rams. Who are you picking, Bryce?
I think I'm going to have to go with the Rams as well on this one. I do think if you have a lot of trust in McCaffrey, the 49ers could pull through. But I think the smart money's on the Rams.
What are you thinking on the over-under?
I think the jury is still out for me on that one. Like you guys said, I think if everyone's healthy, it's a no-brainer. But it's really going to depend if McCaffrey's going to bring his A game, if Kyron's going to bring his A game. Because I think it was last week, he did not put up very many points for the Rams. So I think it's going to boil down to those key players. If we're going to see that over under, it could really go either way, honestly.
All right.
But yeah.
All righty. Well, I know on Monday nights in fantasy, we all talk about Monday Night Miracles. We even got a section in our Discord. If you guys haven't been in our Discord, please visit our Discord chat. You'll find Tennessee Nick sits there all day. He's on there. He's riling everybody up. He's bringing things to the table. We have all kinds of different channels in there. We even have a Monday Night Miracle channel where we can go in and discuss who our Monday Night Miracle is. I know we all have one. I took it upon myself as a host. I know Wilson. This was a big toss-up for me between Wilson being the Monday Night Miracle guy that pulled it off for a lot of people. I know he beat me with Mr. Ethan. Yeah, Ethan, he beat me in a gauntlet league. Zeus. Yeah, I would have had that one won too. But anyways, my Monday Night Miracle guy that I picked for the candidate to win it, we're going to start doing this on Tuesday nights, recapping it. I picked Bo Nix to be the guy. Now, he had some serious numbers there, Bryce, didn't he?
Yeah, so for the Monday night game, we're looking at, I think it is 29 completions, 69.1% completion rate. Yeah, he's putting up some consistent numbers as a quarterback, and I think he's every right to be your Monday night hero for that game.
What about you, Jay? What do you think about Bo Nix? I know he started slow, but I think he's coming in.
Yeah, that's the definition of a miracle, because nobody thought that was going to happen. He had 326 yards, 3 touchdowns. No, he did his thing. I was hoping for some of my props he would rush a little bit more, but no, he did a good job. So I think Bo Nix is trending upwards and trying to get back to a form that he had last year for his rookie year, for sure.
Did you do any prop betting on him, Tennessee Nick?
I think I had some of him like passing touchdowns and passing yards. I mean the legs hit, the parlay as a whole didn't, but I think he really performed really well against Cincinnati. I mean, albeit it's Cincinnati, their defense is arguably one of the worst in the league, in my opinion. But I mean, 326 yards, that's nothing to scoff at. That's pretty good. I'm liking what I'm seeing in 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. I think the thing that would move the ball a little bit for me, though, is if Denver had that one standout receiver, and I think they have like 3 like wide receiver 2s on their team.
I really thought Bryant was going to be a part of the offense, and he really hasn't done anything at all. I had big I think I got a sub-pub bet on this with Mims doing better than Sutton. I think Mims will he picked it up this week quite a bit. So I think Mims will show out and will do good for Denver. So now something else we're going to start doing, guys, in accordance with the Gauntlet recap. We're going to try to get everybody to turn in their trades for the Gauntlet to this show. I talked to Sarah a little bit about it. We've kind of collectively all decided that we're going to try to keep the Gauntlet, and we're going to cover that. So we're going to talk about this trade right here, guys. This was a trade that took place in a Gauntlet league, and I got to laugh. And if Scotty was here, I would rib the hell out of him, because it's so funny how he made this trade prior to the weekend. He wanted Warren, and so he gave up Gainwell. And I understand him taking Fields over Lawrence. I'd do that too. In hindsight, everybody probably would have took runner-up as the run the hurry up rather as winning this trade. At least I would have. In hindsight, Gainwell definitely showed out, and Grizz Tony got some good points out of that deal. But what do you think about this trade, Tennessee Nick?
This is one I don't hate. I think I would kind of lean the Grizz Tony side, just because Gainwell. I mean, he's performing really well, and honestly, Trevor Lawrence is looking really surprising. It looks like Jacksonville's on the come up. I'm not a big Fields guy. I never really have been. But Jalen Warren, I think when he comes back from his quote unquote undisclosed knee injury, I think he'll still be involved. Kind of worries me a little bit because we've seen time and time again, like once a running back goes down and they have like a young rookie running back or like a younger running back, they start to get more of the target share or the snap count. So that's my only, I guess, criticism. But I mean, it's a pretty even trade.
What do you think, Jay?
Yeah, I'm kind of with Tennessee Nick. I mean, I think, especially what he just said about the knee, because I didn't know it was the knee. I think that I would be on the Jalen Warren side a little bit more because I am more of a Fields fan just because of the rushing upside. Like, he can pop off like with so far out of the game he's played, he's giving you like almost 30 points out of 2 of the 3 weeks minus a concussion. So like just for the upside, I would do it, and the consistency for Jalen Warren because I just don't know what I'm gonna get from Kenny Gainwell when with a healthy Jalen Warren for week to week, and Trevor Lawrence. I don't know. Like, who knows about that guy? So yeah, we'll see about that guy. But yeah, I'm on the other side of that for the Fields Warren side.
All right. Well, let's talk about some of these waiver wire targets. Name of the show is Waiver Wire. Let's talk about some of these waiver wires here. Is that going to work, Bryce?
Yeah, it's cooking.
All right.
There we go.
All right, Bryce, I'll let you lead this off.
Yeah. So in the wake of kind of CeeDee Lamb's injury, one pickup you're going to look for is Kevontae Turpin. He is going to likely become a target for Dak Prescott in lieu of CeeDee Lamb. Next up, we have Malik Washington for the Dolphins. And that's kind of the same idea, but with Tyreek Hill being out. These point projections, I don't think are kind of the full picture here. That being said, any kind of time when you have an injured player and you have somebody else taking that spot, it's going to be a risky week, choosing to sit someone who's more proven for, the potential upside of one of these new guys. It's going to be a tough call each week. With that being said, we have Wan'Dale Robinson for the Giants. That's going to be the Malik Neighbors replacement kind of idea. And Ben Skoerneck, I probably butchered that, but Jimbo, this is your
yeah, I'm high on this kid.
So,
I was high on this kid when he was at the Rams. Matt Stafford really made this kid work in the offense out there underneath Sean McVay. He showed great potential, and then all of a sudden, they chose to keep Atwell and let this kid walk. I think he ended up at a couple different places before he got to Pittsburgh. I think he was down in Houston for a little while. Didn't really play. I look for this kid to fill in for Austin, Calvin Austin. If the shoulder injury, keeps up, I think this kid's going to be – he looks to me to have good chemistry with Aaron Rodgers, so I look for him. What do you think about these receivers, Tennessee Nick, to go after in the waivers?
I mean, I'm really high on Wan'Dale. I mean, I've always liked Wan'Dale. It's funny. I always think of the Afro Man song Palmdale. I always say Wan'Dale, come back to me. But I'm pretty high on him. I think he's going to get a good target share. I mean, unfortunately, now that Malik is out for the year, I think he's going to be a good target there. Malik Washington should also get a higher workload. So yeah, I kind of agree with Bryce. I mean, these point projections don't really tell the full story. Like you really got to look at what's going on in the room, and you got to see like who does the quarterback. Are they immediately looking for their number one target, or are they like spreading their eyes around the field?
Are you going after any of these guys, Jay?
Oh yeah, definitely Wan'Dale and then Malik for sure. Like I think those guys are. I mean, Malik was already getting some good targets. I felt like he was kind of filling that Jonnu Smith role. I don't know what the tight end emergence from this Monday looks like for his role, but I feel like he was getting a lot of those targets. And I think, Wanderlei, as far as like his work, I think it's been pretty consistent, even with Neighbors. I'm interested to see what work Theo Johnson gets as far as in the passing game, because he was seeing a lot of snaps too. But those would be like the two that I'd be targeting on the waiver wire this week.
All right, Bryce, talk to me a little bit about the running backs.
Yeah, so moving on to the running backs, we have Xavier Scott for the Vikings, 4 to 7 points, and he was the only main target. These last three are probably already rostered, but they have a very high drop rate just from stuff earlier on in the season. So keep an eye out in your leagues for Trey Benson, who's projected the highest out of any of these either wide receivers or running backs at 10 to 14 points for week 5. Ollie Gordon on the Dolphins, or our friend Skataboo, however you pronounce that, from earlier. He was dropped a lot earlier in the season, but like you said, we're thinking he's going to have some more potential down the road. So he'd be a good one to pick up.
Jay, what were you surprised, Jay, with this Xavier Scott thing? I mean, it blew me away. I cannot believe this kid. That catch in the back of the end zone down there, that catch, he looked like a wide receiver. I mean, that the way he toe tapped that bitch at the sideline, I'm like, whoa, man, where'd this cat come from? And I mean, where did he come from? I mean, tell me a little bit about the Xavier Scott kid, because I mean, I can tell you this, I'm going after him.
Yeah, no, me too. Like, he kind of came out the dark. As best I can tell you where this guy came from, because I've never heard of him, or I don't know this man. I've never seen this man, so like I don't know who he is. But I'm interested in grabbing him on the waiver wire. So he's definitely somebody I'm targeting. Woody Marks, as he's available, like we talked about him earlier, I'm targeting him. And Kendre Miller had a good week as well. So depending on what happens, Alvin Kamara, he may be another person. If he's available in your league, he's somebody I'd be targeting too.
Hey, Tennessee Nick, did you go after Benson at all after Connor got hurt?
I made a trade with him in a home dynasty league that we just started up this year. I think I traded like a first, or like a 2027 first or something for Trey Benson. But yeah, Xavier Scott, he's really impressing me. I think he's kind of a real jackknife. And that catch at the back of the end zone, that little toe tap, that was pretty incredible. I think with the Jones injury, he's going to get to see some more productivity, and I'm excited to see it.
All righty, well, that takes that out of there. And Bryce, how do I get rid of that?
Let's see. How'd you get rid of the other one?
I don't know. I got to learn.
We'll kind of drag it all the way to the end here, see if it takes care of itself, and it doesn't. So,
there it goes. I got
sweet.
it. I just
nicely
didn't go
done.
down far enough. I'm learning
on the fly.
And with your help, I'll get better at it, and we'll produce a better show. We're already leaps and bounds of what we were, aren't we? Already, Tennessee Nick.
Oh yeah, and to prove it, how much of a nobody Xavier Scott was, he went to University of Maine, so really came from rags to riches.
I wonder where he got drafted. That would be a cool question to answer too.
Yeah.
But, all righty. Well, let's put a wrap on this. And what we're going to do now is we're going to do a little bit of this. All right, guys, here it is. I am going to put a hot take out there tonight. I'm going to put out 2 of them. The first one is I'm going to hot take that the Steelers win the division in 2025, especially with this Lamar Jackson injury. I don't believe the Ravens are playing worth a darn. They got something going on. Henry can't even hang on to the football. You got Hill in there just running the hell out of the ball. I think the Steelers win the division hands down. I don't think there's much competition other than the Ravens. And then my second one is that Puka Nacua for the Rams for the season goes over 150 catches, and he goes over 2,000 yards in 2025 to set an NFL record. Jay, you got anything to say about those hot takes?
I think that exactly. If the Magic 8-Ball was saying anything, probability is high. I think those are some good takes, Jimbo, for sure.
All right. What do you think, Tennessee Nick?
Well, I love that Pittsburgh Steelers hot take. I love it for my pub sub bet with Ethan, but I think their offense is clicking. I mean, Aaron Rodgers looks like, dare I say it, he looks almost like prime Aaron Rodgers when he was in Green Bay.
Yeah, he had a good game. He really, really did. I didn't think he was going to have that good a game. I thought it was going to be closer, and I definitely had the Vikings winning that game. However, the defense for the Vikings just didn't stand up to being the defense that everybody thought they were, somewhat like Green Bay's defense kind of let them down a little bit. Bryce, did you have any feeling on these hot takes?
No, I mean, I always have faith in your hot takes. I am too scared to take it to the pub stub. So I will just say, yeah, you're absolutely right.
All right, guys, like I always say with my hot takes, it's my opinion. I have fun doing it, and you can take it or you can leave it. But
you better be right about this, Jimbo.
It's out there for entertainment, and Alex is out there or Sarah's out there haunting me with my little thing they do about my hot takes. But, guys, it's been great having you. Bryce, thank you. Looking forward to the gauntlet. I'm going to go ahead and say goodnight to you, young man. Appreciate you coming on. Appreciate you taking the time. Appreciate you during the week helping teach me how to be a little bit more technical than I have been. So you got any last words before you check out?
Yeah, no, thanks again for having me, Jimbo. And I'm willing to help anytime. Good to see you again, Jay. And nice to see you in person, Nick.
Yeah, nice to see you.
Yeah, great work, Bryce. Appreciate you. Yeah.
All righty, Tennessee Nick, I appreciate you being a first timer on live on the waiver wire. You definitely aren't a new timer on chat, and I appreciate everything you do. You keep the talk up, you keep everybody positive, you keep some of the the jabs and all the fun stuff that we do, ribbing each other all day long. And I know you and sorry for cussing and Ethan, you guys really get it on. So I appreciate the entertainment. I appreciate the loyalty to Ballsville, and thanks for being on the show tonight. You got anything to say?
Yeah, it was just really good talking college ball. I really like college football a lot. And Ethan, you better watch yourself in Aries this week. I'm coming for you. I'm coming for that top spot.
Let's go, Tennessee, Nick. Let's go.
Exactly. Bring back fantasy football trash talk.
All right. We're going to have you on more often. I appreciate you coming out. Have a good night, buddy. All right, kid. It's just me and you, Jay. And
Yes, sir.
I appreciate you, young man, and taking the time that you do, putting into the show. I appreciate you being committed to the 2026 Devy Leagues coming to Ballsville. I look forward to you getting involved with some of our other leagues next year. And I look forward to you guys. Jay is going to be out next week, and he's going to be out the last week of October, but he is going to hit us up in the middle of the month. So going forward, Jay is the co-host of this show. And Jay, I appreciate you. Anything else you want to say before you check out?
No, I appreciate you, Jimbos. Like I said, appreciate all the community for participating with the chat, being active, and let's continue to put in some work, man. We got a lot of work to do, a long season left to play, so let's get it.
All right, man. I appreciate being on the show. Thank you. All righty, guys. That's going to wrap up another week of the live on the waiver wire. Like I said, I want to thank Ballsville for having us, giving us this opportunity. Alex, all your hard work. Sarah, all your hard work. Chris, loving you on the Wednesday night show. And I apologize. I had to take out the slide for the podcast to make room for our big show tonight. I will have it back up, but don't forget, guys, to catch Chris and Sarah tomorrow on the fantasy football soundboard. I really haven't heard when Connor and JoJo are coming back. We miss you guys. We look forward to your show. So we'll be counting the days. Maybe somebody give us an update on that when you guys are coming back. And a big thanks again to all our supporters, all the new guests. And I hope you guys have a great, great week 5. And y'all have a good night. We're going to check out.
Show.
Bye.